Hi everyone, this is Nikki, and I'm so excited to be here to celebrate Stamptember. If you don't know what that is, it is an event every September at Simon Says Stamp, where there's lots of collaboratives, there's lots of new products coming out, and it's just really a month of celebrating stamping. So I'm going to be looking at a lot of new products. We're going to look at 4 different cards that I created with this release, and we're just going to go through and play with some of these new products because they are so awesome. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you are hit the like and subscribe button so that you can see lots of new products as they come out, and also just all of my other technique videos. Today, one of the most exciting techniques that I'm looking forward to showing you is building a gift card holder out of just using dies. I just kind of made my own, and I can't wait to show it to you. This mat is all the rage right now. This is a sticky mat that is from Simon Says Stamp, and it has measurements on it so that you know where an A2 or A7 card is. It is made to perfectly fit inside of a MISTI, but I use it all the time just for ink blending. So that's how I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you with stencils, and I know it's a clear mat and I have a grid behind it, so it makes it a little bit difficult. We're looking at snowflake stripes, but I think once you see me adhering the different levels of the stencil, I think you're going to understand why this makes it just so easy to use. So we're going to make a couple different cards with this stencil, and we're going to use some different mixed media paste and things to create some fun looks. So I love how bold of a statement this card makes. This stencil is just really easy to create a card. We're going to use the color peony and rose on this card. So it's 2 pink colors, and then we are going to custom color our paste to make a pink snowflake in the middle. So on this one, you start out with stripes. And so you've got your first layer. There's 3 total layers in the set, and your first layer are 2 stripes. And then of course it also defines the outline of that snowflake. So having a grid mat really helps you line up your stencil really nice, because this does need to be a straight line. And I did double check that I've got my stencil going perfectly square and straight to this piece of paper, because if you don't, your stripes are going to be a little bit wonky. So just be careful when you're starting to line it up. I'm going to use ink blending. You could do this card so fast if you just took the ink pad and swiped across the card. I considered doing that, but I just wanted to have a little more variation in the color, and so I ended up ink blending instead, even though I went in and did a pretty dark ink blend with both of these colors. Here's the first layer reveal. I love stencil reveals. They just make me so happy. It's just so amazing when you pull it off and you're like, that looks perfect. Okay, so here is our lighter color pink. Now we're going to go in with a little darker color. And so you've got to kind of line your stencil up, make sure you know where you're going with your stripes. And I'd really originally thought I was going to do peony and rose, and then I realized those 2 are right next to each other, and I wanted a little bit more contrast, so I went to the next darker color in that set, which is cherry. So cherry is a little bit more of a pinky red, and like a step up in color from the previous one that we just used, the peony. So it really makes a darker blend, and it makes those stripes even more obvious. And I think you'll see what I mean after I pull this off and you see the reveal. It just is a great contrast between the stripes, but they're still in the same color family. So it's really nice. The other nice thing is having this sticky mat that's holding this mat down. Look at that. Oh my goodness, you could just leave it like this. But I thought, since I've got the option of going in and doing something to that snowflake, that I was going to make a sparkly, amazing pink snowflake. And I'm going to show you how I did it. Now, how I did this is I used some Altenew embossing paste. It's kind of a fluffy white paste. And then we're going to use some Rainbow Splash Princess, which is a very nice pink that also coordinates well with what we're working on here. And so I'm just going to mix these 2 together. And you see that I realize, oops, I'm going to have to use a clean one of these to put more in there. And then I'm just going to mix it through and create a beautiful pink color. And the nice thing about this is you can always add more ink. You can add more paste. I realize at some point while I'm mixing that I probably need more paste than this just to do the whole snowflake. So I just keep adding until I've got myself a nice pink paste, and then we're going to put it on that stencil. Now I'm mixing here on an Altenew grip mat, and the reason I'm using it, it's a little bit larger so I can mix in the corner and then I can put my stencil a little bit lower. Now I'm going to apply this paste. This is a pretty thick paste and its finish is kind of a matte color. You could stop there, but of course y'all know that I had to do even more than that. So I did get sometimes a little bit underneath and I was able to fix that pretty quick just by moving it off, but you have to be a little careful with your paste and how you're applying. I do feel like it's a little easier to apply paste using one of those big flat plastic pieces. I don't know what these things are called, but I'd call it a scraper. Look how beautiful this turns out. You can see that one little mistake I made up at the top of the snowflake, which is no problem. I'm going to cover that up with my sentiment, so I'm not even worried. I scraped any extra off, and it's very hard to see. Now we're going to do, this is an extra step that I did. I just feel like snowflakes look amazing when they're sparkly. So I'm adding some Prisma glitter on top of my wet embossing paste, and that sticks it to the glitter. Of course, if you're using glitter, you know glitter goes everywhere. So you're going to have some that still falls off. So really tap on the back of your page and make sure your project is dry before you start adding more. All right, and here is what it looks like up close. I added that joy, which covered up my mistake. It said joy to you and yours, and it looks just gorgeous. You should see it in person and how glittery it is. It's so amazing. Let's move to the next card. For the next card using this stencil, I just want to show you a few highlights. One, if you don't have a whole lot of different colors, I'm going to use the same color for both of my stripes, and I'm just going to ink blend lighter to create a lighter stripe and really heavy to create that difference. But it's going to be this exact same color from the Rainbow Splash family called C. So here's the lighter version. Let me show you when I go in and ink blend that much heavier, how different it can be, which is so awesome to be able to stretch your supplies. And you can see with this one, I'm just getting more on the brush and I'm really pressing into the paper to get a darker color versus the last stripe. And look at how different they look, even though they're the exact same color. Super cool. Now let me show you what kind of paste I used on the middle of this because it turned out adorable. So in this one, I wanted to create a lot of texture, and this is actually one of my first times using this paste, and I am in love. It's called Grit Paste from Tim Holtz, and it's also Snowflake. I think it's called Snowflake Grit Paste. It's got lots, it's almost like little beads or something in it. It is so beautiful. So I did use a scraper again on this. I think that's a lot easier to apply these paste. Now, if you don't want your stencil to lift up like I keep having it do every now and then, you need to do something like put some pixie spray on the back of the stencil. I'm just trying to be careful with it because I'm just being a little bit lazy and don't want to have to go through that step. So I'm just being gentle and careful which way I'm rubbing this paste to try to keep it from being a big problem. Now, this paste is clear, even though it's gritty and has some shine to it. It's not as obvious when you mess up with this paste as it is with some of the others. Okay, so here's how it looks, and I'm going to hold it up to the light so you can see how raised and beautiful it is. Look at that. It looks like a snowflake, just like it says. It's so beautiful. So we'll add a couple little things to this card with some of the new release, and then we're going to move on to making our own gift card holder. And don't worry, all of these products will be listed below. I added a few sequins called Northern Lights, and I added a little grip paste around that Merry and Bright, and just did a simple circle to cut out the middle. It looks so cute. So whenever I think of a coffee card, I always think about giving someone a gift card for coffee because that's such a common gift for me is to give somebody a Starbucks card or something like that. So I thought that I would make my own gift card holder because I really love the cute coffee mugs in this set. And I thought, I bet they fit. And you're going to see, I just kind of measure it to see if they're actually going to fit a gift card. And then we'll build our own gift card holder out of stuff that you probably already have. Now, when I'm doing this ink blending, I wanted to try using all of these new mini colors that I have. I got a pack of 6, and this one is allspice, nutmeg, and paprika. And so I'm just kind of blending them on the background in various shapes and forms so that I get a little bit of color variation. And it may not be something that's obvious and notable to you that there are different colors on this background, but to me, it just gives it a little bit more interest because you've got all three of those colors. So you've got some beans that are a little darker, some that are lighter, some are a little bit more red. It just looks so nice, and I love having that option. So I used a die cut and I cut out the largest of the coffee cups, and this just a little sentiment fits perfectly here. It's just coffee because adulting is hard, which I thought could work for anything. It could be a teacher gift, it could be so many different things. So I'm going to take this off here. We'll do a little ink blending on it. I actually did use clear embossing so that I don't mess up the ink that I stamped here. I'm going to heat emboss that, and then we'll put some ink over it. So I would always advise you to keep extra gift cards in your craft room even after you used them. So I've already used this gift card, but I keep it for its size because if I'm going to check, I wanted to see if it slide through the coffee or if it fits behind it, and it fits perfectly. Okay, you're going to have to make your edges that it goes into that lift up very small, which I'll show you how I did that, but it does fit and it looks beautiful together. So I actually made my husband go get another gift card that was the traditional Starbucks color because I thought it looked better on the card. I added the colors punch and sangria to my coffee mug just to make it stand out. This is in that same pack of those other ones, the allspice and the paprika, and they really do coordinate well together, even though they're technically in slightly different families. There's the way that Simon Says Stamp does their inks, they do like three that are kind of in a row. And this was it is really nice to coordinate with those colors that were named after spices. And I cut out and ink blended another one of the coffee cups, and I went on and just did it the same color as the other, just so that you wouldn't see that I have a raised up area. Now I'm going to take some foam tape and I'm going to cut it very thin and create just a little bit of lift so that this will fall. This little thing can slide right inside. Now, if you don't have foam tape, you could use a few pieces of paper and just glue them to this edge. But as long as you've got enough room to slide that in, it's awesome. So I end up cutting mine even a little bit thinner here, and I'm going to line both sides of the cup. And then you got to remember that you don't want your gift card to slide all the way through the cup. So you need to put something on the bottom as a stopper as well. So we've got foam tape all around this card. And then once I get the foam tape down, I'm going to add a little bit of powder on the inside because I don't want the card to stick to that inside edge of the foam tape, which since it's a little bit sticky can happen. So it never hurts to run your powder tool a little bit there and keep so that it just slides in and out so much easier. Now I've placed the front on this coffee cup, but you're going to see me measuring with the nice little gift card because I wanted to make sure that where I put this coffee cup, there's enough room that the gift card still fits and doesn't hang off the edge of the card. So I'm looking at my placement to make sure that I have that correct and that everything is centered. And look how cute this is looking. Okay, so you just slide this in carefully, of course, but you just slide it into your coffee cup and it fits perfectly. How cute is that? I think it would make a great gift. In my final pictures, you'll see the other Starbucks card. I think it turned out just perfect. I love it. So if you've ever wondered about getting coffee products, it's so fun for these little gifts. So I can't wait to use that for a teacher gift for Christmas or something like that. Now we're going to create a rainbow with only three colors, and we're going to make a card that generally has a rainbow theme because we're going to use butterflies, we're going to use the just because, and we're going to create some interesting things. I'm going to talk to you about some mistakes that I made and some ways that you could make this a little bit better, but I'm also going to show you those so that you can see different ways to do your card, and you may like it the way I did it first, so who knows? Now, to create this rainbow with three colors, it's so awesome because colors blending together create the rest of the rainbow. So I'm going to use pink, yellow, and blue. And this yellow is called Dandelion. The pink is called Princess. These are both from the Rainbow Splash line. You don't have to have that line, but it does help to have several different ink blending brushes. So when you've got something that you need to stay true yellow, you want to keep yellow, pink, and blue separate, and then maybe a brush to go in between. I didn't always do that, and sometimes my colors got a little bit crazy, so I had to go and get different color brushes. So once you blend, you're gonna go in and blend the two colors together. So I try to create like a large area about the length of the brush and I add the pink and the yellow, and then I'm going back in between those 2 colors to create my in-between color, and you'll see I had to go wipe my brush off because I had a little bit too much orange on it. And then you can go in and create darker colors or just keep blending in between those colors to make it look like a more natural rainbow. And with the blue, I used the sea. We've used this on our blue snowflake card. So I'm just coming in and I'm blending these two together to create. So the yellow and the blue is going to create the green. And then we're going to take our blue and we're going to restart our rainbow again. So the pink and the blue will make purple. It just makes a really cool rainbow. And I could leave it just plain like this, but I want to use that just because background stamp on it just to give it a little bit more excitement. Here's how that rainbow turned out. I just love all the color variation with only 3 colors. Great way to stretch your supplies. So next I'm going to use the Just Because background stamp, and we're going to stamp it over this. Now here's where I think there could be some improvements, and you can, tell me what you think or if you like the way that I did it, but it makes it a little hard to show up on camera. Now in person this card looks amazing, but on camera doing clear embossing it makes it a little difficult to see. So once the powder's on it, you'll see it come to life and have that background just because and all those cute little sentiments on the back. But before that, it's a little harder to tell because it is clear ink and we're going to use clear embossing powder. So a way that I've done this in the past and that I probably should have done it for showing up on camera today is I've gone in and I've ink blended on the background stamp to give it a little bit darker color. And then I've used the clear embossing over it. So you could go in and do another rainbow on the background stamp just to give a little top color. And that really will make this stand out a little bit more. So I'd ink blended 2 of these rainbows. This one had a little bit more red to it, and I decided that I would hang on to the panel because I wanted to cut some butterflies out. So I used this panel to cut some butterflies out, but here's the extra. I put the butterflies through an embossing folder. So this is little hearts, and it makes little hearts all over your butterflies. Let me show you how that looks once it's done. And I'm going to hold this so that you get different levels of light so you can see that background as well. See how the background has that clear embossing and then all of those little butterflies have hearts in them? I just love it. I think it turned out so cute. I know it doesn't photograph as well as some of the others, but it is adorable. And I just love this release. Let me show you some final pictures of everything and give you a few final details and we'll be done. I hope I inspired you today, and if you have never participated in the blog and Instagram party that happens with STAMPtember, make sure today is the day you want to hop through and grab the coupon codes, the freebies. Everybody has different coupon codes on their site, so I'll make sure I'll link to my blog so you can grab the option that I have, and you just don't want to miss that if you're going to be ordering from Simon Says Stamp today. Have a great day. Make sure to use my affiliate link in the bottom, and I'll see you soon. Bye!